Hey everyone, it's the Koopa Man. Last week you saw my video breaking down the systematic problems with X. But before that video even went live, the platform decided to prove my point for me. I was permanently banned. My crime? I spoke out against the anti-woke culture warrior narrative and defended 007 First Light. Yeah, that's right. That's all I did. And apparently that's enough to take away my constitutional rights to free speech that Elon supposedly believes in to an absolutist degree. And the irony at play here is suffocating, as my previous account was nuked for doing the exact same thing on the opposite end of the spectrum, defending Vic Mignogna from slander. The faces of the mobs may change, but the machine is identical. It relies on outraged sheep, fed a steady diet of half-truths, lies, and slander, swarming the report button to execute whatever their shepherds want taken care of. In this case, anyone who speaks out against their pre-prescribed narratives. It's a bucket of cold water to the face. Like a lot of people, I believe the new ownership would bring positive change to the platform. Instead, the social media outrage machine just got new management. It elevated culture war grifters, gave them the privileged status once reserved for the far left, without actually removing the far left from that status, mind you, and monetized the mob. It created a system that enables lies to sprint around the world while the truth is buried underneath the algorithm. No joke, the website is financially incentivizing people to go out and say that slavery is based and Fallout New Vegas is like woke. But honestly, none of this should come as a surprise. My last suspension happened because I dared to call out Grumps, the ultimate grifter who took $500,000 in crowdfunding for a game he still hasn't produced. The context being that I called him out for being a ghoul, weaponizing the high-profile tragedy, the assassination of Charlie Kirk, just to manufacture a fresh wave of outrage against Ghost of Yotei, a game he was already trying to desperately take down. And I stand by said sentiments. If you're trying to use the corpse of an assassinated political activist to engage in a culture war against an unrelated video game, you are just a bad person. It stops being about wokeness in the video game sphere and starts being about your own fucking ego. But yeah, even back then, by suspending me for that, the platform was showing its true colors. It doesn't protect free speech. It protects the people who manufacture profitable outrage. It shields the grift and punishes anyone pulling back the curtain on the lies. Even their proprietary AI, Grok, falls right into line. Try asking it to critically analyze subversive figures like Nick Fuentes, Sneeko, or Aristocratic Utensil, all three of whom I'm sure are having a very happy Pride Month, and watch it immediately default to a defensive pro-subversive bias. The grand promise of a truth-first ecosystem was an absolute myth. It's the exact same algorithmic engineering we had under the old regime, just repackaged through a different ideological lens. The face changes, but the machine stays exactly the same. When the year started, I made the joke that this was going to be the year of the horseshoe, a play upon words of Year of the Horse of the Chinese Zodiac. This was because certain far-right figures were already starting to go apeshit about Donald Trump and Israel on platforms like X. And in doing so, they were acting the exact same as far-leftist figures who before them, and even still are, anti-Trump. The only real difference is that instead of calling Trump a Nazi, these people were calling Trump the demographic which the Nazis wanted exterminated. But all the same, when I made that Year of the Horseshoe remark, I could not even remotely imagine that it'd be thrown at my neck by Elon Musk and Twitter, who seemed determined to prove me correct. We have gone full swing around the shoe because the same group of pseudo-right-wing, but not really right-wing extremists, is now part of the culture war ecosystem which Twitter defends the same way old Twitter defended the social justice sphere, or Reddit defends the far-left ecosystem. I believe Nisha would be rolling in his grave if he saw how much of a monster that Elon and Twitter have become in a quest to slay the monsters of old. It is truly sad that 11 years since the Gamergate fiasco, and 10 years since the first election of Donald Trump, how little things have really changed. Hell, the same machine that once propped up Gone Home and Depression Quest because of nepotism within the game journalist sphere is propping up Mixtape, including big corporate funding, and nobody is talking about it because they're too busy calling Tomb Raider Lara Croft a non-white fat ass, or James Bond in First Light a twink miscegenator. Yeah, the social justice warriors of old wish they had a league of terminally online loser Nazis they could use as a shield for their dirty deeds, while still pointing to as proof of their "all my enemies are vile" narrative. All that said, I'm left with very little in the way of options. My appeal was already rejected, the same way that my reports of blatant neo-Nazi content tend to be ignored or rejected on the "it doesn't break our rules" or "freedom of speech, not freedom of reach" grounds. Which itself rings hollow anyway, because I am sitting here with a permanent ban for defending a video game from libelous accusations. But it doesn't change a single goddamn thing. My views have not changed. And I will not be bullied into conformity by a group of simple-minded sheep now, the way I was not bullied before. The anti-woke culture war crowd are now provably the exact same kind of menace that the social justice warriors they despised were back a decade before. And they are currently engaging in the same tactics of outrage culture, cancel culture, smearing, and mass reporting. A bully is a bully no matter whose side or team he claims to be on, and I refuse to be bullied. But again, I have very few options. I mean, I could try to sue them, but the best we would get out of them is having a court record of them saying, "We are a private platform and we can do whatever the fuck we want," which is the exact same excuse that old Twitter gave, but I cannot afford to spend thousands of dollars just to get them to say that. Hell, this channel isn't even monetized yet. Where would I get the money? There's also not that many options when it comes to alternatives. Reddit has an equal and opposite problem, as many are aware, as does Blue Sky, which also has a problem with child molesters appearing within their ranks. Gab and Minds fall into the same trap as Twitter of being ideologically captured by weirdo neo-Nazis. Facebook is basically a dead man walking. Really, the only option available is through social. Sure, it's mostly conservative MAGA boomers, but at least they keep out the rubbish and the grifters. Except for Razorfist, but he's a bit of a special case of exception that proves the rule. And my YouTube channel is not going anywhere. The mission has not changed in the slightest. I will continue to give you my thoughts and opinions through a lens of unbiased logical truth to the best of my ability each week, with the exception of January's, where the view count is so low from the post-Christmas hangover it's not even worth trying. And all this permaband does is light a fire in my belly to no longer hold back when it comes to the problems with Twitter, Elon Musk, or the culture warrior grifter sphere going forward. The best I can really do is remind everyone of my Discord community, the Koopa Troop, where we prioritize truth, justice, and the American way in everything we do. You must be 18 years or older to join though, but still, if you want a community where you can sift through the shit and unwind and actually enjoy things again, it's there. The link is in the description of every video. Yeah, being permabanned for speaking truth to power sucks, but it's sort of part and parcel of dealing with the modern internet, sadly. This by no means makes me a martyr. Those guys tend to have larger followings. But it does mean that I can milk it for all it's worth to spread awareness that Elon Musk isn't the adorable eccentric he seems, and is no different from Jack Dorsey when the chips are down and it's time to lay your cards on the table. To reiterate my thesis from part 1, before I knew I was banned, the problem with current Twitter is the same problem that original Twitter had. It's selectively enforcing rules and restrictions in order to push a pre-approved narrative over any dissent or truth-seeking. They are even willing to go as far as to turn the new AI feature into a tool towards that end. The Mecha Hitler incident was proof of this, and whereas Jack Dorsey's Twitter was taking their marching orders from media lobbyists and the CIA, it's possible that Elon's Twitter is taking theirs from probably Russia, Iran, Qatar, China, Pakistan. It's indeterminate as of this point, and it could be the case that he's doing it for free. We just don't know at the minute. But what I do know is the way things are going with Twitter, it's only a matter of time before people besides me get the boot and people start turning their back on it. At which point, I will still be here with a look that just screams, "I told you so," as Elon wonders where it all went wrong. But that's all. A shorter video, as this is a very recent occurrence, and I did have to change up my schedule a little bit to get it out, but it is what it is. Hopefully more people start turning their back on the outrage machine that is Twitter and social media, and companies realize how little the opinions of offendertrons really matter, be they far leftist activists or terminally online spastic culture warriors. But until that day comes, this has been the Koopa Man. If you like this video or just want to help a poor permabanned soul, leave a like and subscribe. And check out my other videos on the channel. Spread this video around to get the word out about how two-faced Elon and X have really become, and leave a comment of support if you want. It's all appreciated. And until next time, game on.